we close out the show.
Well, the key is knowing that we have a very safe and effective supplement for supporting brain health and mild memory loss associated with aging. Prevagen has been tested scientifically in several clinical trials that have demonstrated Prevagen's ability to improve memory. It's perfect for people that are seeking healthier brain function and want a sharper mind and clearer thinking.
Mark Underwood, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, folks, here's the final chance to take advantage of this special offer. If you want to try Prevagen, here is all the information you'll need to get started.
Once again, the number to try Prevagen is 888-960-0060. Prevagen is the first and only formula on the market today that has been clinically shown to support your brain health. And when you call today and order Prevagen, you're going to receive the benefits that we've been talking about: a sharper memory, better focused, and improved concentration. All you have to do is call right now, 888-960-0060. And as we've mentioned, Mark is putting together a special offer available to our listeners today. If you call in the next 10 minutes, you'll qualify to receive 2 free bottles of Prevagen. When you buy 4, you'll get 2 bottles free. That's right, buy 4 and get 2 bottles free by calling this number, plus get a free gift. Call 888-960-0060. Shipping and processing will also be free. Today only, you can receive a free copy of the Brain Health Guide with your order. So again, folks, this is a great offer. Do something good for yourself or someone you love. Do it for your family. Call right now, toll-free, 888-960-0060. Again, that number to call, 888-960-0060.
Thanks for tuning in, and join us again next time for another special edition of the Brain Health Show. Make it a healthy day, everyone.
You have been listening to the Brain Health Show. The program you've listened to is a paid advertisement for Prevagen. The statements made in today's program have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Talk 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
AM 1470, WNN, with more of what you need to know. Don't miss Barry's Supplement Hour, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 11 a.m. and Tuesdays at noon on South Florida's Health and Wealth Network, AM 1470, WNN.
I'm Tiffany. I have some tips for you on how to quit smoking like I did. First, I did some reading about it. I found a lot of great advice on how to quit smoking and picked out the ways I thought would work best for me. I started by setting a quit date. Then I threw out my ashtrays, lighters, and matches. I did other things too, like exercising more, and it worked. But I'd still get cravings, especially on long car rides. To help me with that, I put a picture of my mother in my car. She died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes when I was only 16. Now I have a 16-year-old daughter. That picture of my mother reminds me that I don't want to miss all the things my daughter is going to do in her life, including turning 17.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
This is Talk 1470.
Talk 1470.
WNN.
The opinions expressed in the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Golf and Travel Show, the place to fine-tune your swing, dress for the course, club, or cruise, and get tips on the best places to play and stay at the right price. Vacation or staycation, host Dan Schub, along with his expert co-hosts and guests, will tell you where to go. To play golf and vacation, that is. Now, here's Dan.
And welcome to the Golf and Travel Show. I'm your host, Dan Schub, and like we do all the time, every week at this time, we talk golf, we talk travel, and we're going to do that just like we always do. And we got a good show for you tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. We've got some wonderful guests that will be joining us in just a few moments. In a little bit, we'll be talking to Kat Centeno, and she's from Oakley, and I had visited her at the Oakley store here in the Boca Town Center recently, and got a tour of the store, some of the new products that Oakley has, and got fitted for some sunglasses, which is an unusual thing because I typically don't get fitted for sunglasses. I just get sunglasses. So it was it's a novel approach, and it makes a lot of sense. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then a little later in the show we will be talking to Craig Samborski, and he's the promoter of an event called Tall Ships, and I'm going to be checking it out next week. It's going to be at the shipyards out in Los Angeles, the docks where the big ships actually live, I suppose. But they've got some giant sailboats and some naval ships, and they've got this gigantic rubber ducky. I got to find out a little bit more about that. It's the world's largest rubber ducky. So not only are we going to talk to him, but like I said, I'm going to go check it out myself next week. And but before we go any further, what I usually like to do at this time is let you know who's sitting right here to the right of me. And he's that guy with that beautiful swing. Of course, my co-host, Jess Frank. He's the guy who's a PGA teaching professional and can give you a swing like that one that you just heard as well. He's also the owner of the Jess Frank Golf Academy at Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club right here in Boca Raton. Jess specializes in on-course instruction with V1 video analysis. He believes that every lesson and swing is different. Jess likes to focus on the scoring part of your game, those short shots taught on the golf course, which instills confidence. And you may know him from his work in the area at country clubs such as St. Andrews, Boca Lago, and Broken Sound. Jess loves to teach and has a passion for the game because this game of golf can be challenging, but Jess makes it easy for you to learn and excel. And how are you doing tonight, Jess?
I am excellent, Dan. Thank you, sir, and hello to all our wonderful listeners out there. And today was definitely an interesting day in Boca Raton weather-wise. We had beautiful sunrise and, of course, the humidity, and then we just got a ton of rain this afternoon. So.
I felt it a little while ago. I actually just flew in from Montreal, and it was a beautiful flight until we got right near South Florida, and all of a sudden everything was flying in the air, and people were gasping. And,
lightning, thunder. It was brutal. I mean, it came down really hard, buckets. So it was pretty interesting, but did have the chance to get a couple lessons in this morning, so that was good.
Yeah, it's we could talk about it a little bit more later, but just to touch on it briefly, having flown up to Montreal this week. And met a lot of other clients of mine up there, and some of my colleagues flew, and we were all on different flights, and almost all of us had issues, mainly directed to the weather. The weather in the northeast was just brutal.
Yeah, it's been with the rain, too, up there. It's been
terrible rain and flooding, and up in Montreal, the highs were in the mid-60s.
Oh, wow.
So not only was it raining, but it was like winter-like. Yeah, people were wearing coats. And
holy cow.
Yeah, and it was that way. I was up there for 3 days, all 3 days. So it wasn't like just one day or something. I mean, it was...
That's a nice change.
Well, when you book a trip and you plan to go to a destination, we had a meeting up there, so we planned this a long time in advance, and the thought was, a lot of us are from here in the South, and, it's kind of nice to go up north for the summer. It'll be a little cool, and you know that there's weather issues down here with the afternoon storms or whatnot, but you just don't think about it elsewhere, and you kind of worry more about winter travel. What if it snows, flights get canceled, whatever. You just don't think in August that you're going to have those kind of issues, but obviously there is weather-related issues, and the airlines... they really have to scramble sometimes to get the flights off and on time. And one of our folks missed the meeting altogether. He didn't make it at all.
That's not good.
Went from Nashville to New York, and that's as far as he got. Turned around and went back.
That's travel.
You cannot get to Montreal tonight. I'm sorry. So he was like, okay, I guess I'll go back home.
Yeah, right. That's,
so, but. In any event, we're lucky enough that down here it's usually just for short periods of time. It doesn't last. Often it's just in the late afternoon, and it's living in the tropics. But as you said, it's nice that you can find your little space to get out there, get your lessons in, 18 holes in or whatever.
Yeah, this morning was really nice. I mean, it was, of course, the humidity, but that's every day here in South Florida, and we're we're lucky to be down here. Like I always tell people, I go, there's nothing to shovel, so it's all good. It's all good. And if you just avoid the deep puddles with your car, then you'll be fine. But yeah, it started around noon today, and it just didn't stop, and it's still still drizzle maybe a little bit outside.
I'm telling you, about 20 years ago, when I decided to move from the north down here, one of the things that prompted me was hearing stories about relatively young people in their 40s or so having heart attacks shoveling snow.
Yeah.
Some of them dying. And it was like, that's no way to go.
Yeah, no, it's not. That's definitely not the way to go.
No.
But no. But it's funny, when I first came down here to go to FAU in 1993, that was one of my first experiences was this just unbelievable rainstorm that came through, and there was like a foot of water in the parking lots, and I was like, geez, I'm lucky I'm wearing my flip-flops, because, if I had the gym shoes on, I'd be soaked.
We had a similar experience. Like, as soon as we moved down here, my kid was going to nursery school, I guess, or, one of these early learning schools or something, and my wife went to pick him up, and the afternoon storms came in, and the place flooded to where it was over, like, the car door. And she had to get rescued by somebody else who had, a truck of some sorts or whatever that could get through it. And it was like, what did we move into? We left one thing and now we got something else. But I guess that's the bottom line. There's always something wherever you go.
I'll tell you what, I do a lot of stuff with the Boca Raton Chamber of Commerce, which is an awesome chamber. And if anybody, if anybody's a business person in this area, in South Florida, they should join the Boca Chamber, because it's fantastic and a great place to network with really quality people. But we had Mayor Susan Haney on, who's Boca's mayor, and Leif Anel. He was the town manager, I believe, and they were just saying all the wonderful things that are going on in Boca Raton, and it's we're lucky to be here, because despite everything, our cost of living here is still pretty low compared to a lot of different places.
Yeah, real estate's lower than up north. No state income tax,
state taxes, property taxes, and it's very it's everything they were saying and bullet pointing. Of course, they're going to point out the positives, but the fact is that it's really a quality place to be.
So South Florida, a great place to visit, and you would want to live here.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So anybody who's listening that's up north, we're inviting you down for a short time or a long time, whatever you like.
Not too many people, though, because we still like it here to be, our
well, I know if
domain.
all of our listeners come, forget about
it. Unless they come for golf lessons, and
then it's okay.
Then it's all right. As long as
speaking of golf lessons, I think this is the right time for a little tip. Your pearls of wisdoms, the freebie. So that everybody can have a little something to help their game. What do you got tonight?
And what I see with a lot of players, and whether they're junior players or beginners or advanced players, is the dreaded open club face through impact. And I see that causes a lot of different problems, including flipping of the club, where it's just not very solid impact.
Wait, before you go any further, occasionally, usually once or twice in a round, I'll be hitting an iron, and it just goes dead right for some reason.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's what I don't know why I do it. It just happens, and it is so annoying. And sometimes it'll happen once, and sometimes twice, and then that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, where does it? Why does that happen?
Well, that's just the golfing gods, I think, putting you in your place, humbling you. Because if you think you've got it, they throw something at you where it's like, what just happened? But a lot of errors occur from an open club face, and it causes the slice, and it causes the weak shots, and it causes the flips, and so, and I see it a lot. You see it a lot at address, in the backswing, and at the top of the swing, and that really, I really have seen it come from just a very weak grip of the club. So whenever I see that, I'm always working on somebody. I'm going to get somebody's grip a little bit stronger, so their top hand, whether you're lefty or righty, your top hand is always going to be the grip's going to be in the fingers of your top hand, and it's going to have the heel pad sitting on top, and also you're going to have it turned a little bit where you have your top, your top hand, the V of your top hand pointing at your back rear shoulder. And so that would be for a right-hander, you'd be pointing to the right shoulder. For a left-hander, I guess it'd be pointing to your left shoulder. So that, basically, if you can get that left hand on the club correctly, that's going to help you square up the club. Now, the other part I see a lot of golfers do is that they twist the club and open the club face going into their backswing. So that's number 2 death move. So they turn the club face too open, get it way inside, and open the club face dramatically, sometimes 40 to 50 degrees open, which really causes all kinds of issues. It's a disaster. And what keeps me in business, which is good.
I was going to say, I think I need to visit you over at the practice tee.
Exactly. So I'm always, with players, I'm always taking their, let's call it, for a right-handed player, be their left wrist. So what happens at the top of their swing, I have to work on closing their club faces. So I'm working on keeping their club face closed by flattening their left wrist. And this is for a right-handed golfer who slices the golf ball. Obviously, for a left-handed golfer, it would be the back of their right wrist. But this is something that's going to really improve somebody's play if they're slicing the golf ball. Also, it adds a tremendous amount of lag into the golf swing and a solid impact, and it's going to add a tremendous amount of power because now you're striking down in the ball with a closing club face, which adds a ton of power instead of that kind of the wipe across open club face and basically a weaker shot, almost like in a tennis where you're cutting across the ball and putting top or backspin on the ball. So it's not good.
Well, hopefully I can listen to what you just said.
Yes.
I'm playing tomorrow. I'm playing in a tournament Friday out in California. I don't want to be hitting those shots out to the right.
No, keep that club. Watch the left. Watch your grip. Get in the fingers. Strengthen the grip a little bit, and flatten out the left wrist and shut the club face, and you won't slice it.
Awesome.
There you go.
So next time I'll work on a different part of my game. Thank you very much,
there you
Jess.
go. Beautiful.
All right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with. We're going to be talking to Kat Centeno from Oakley, and you don't want to miss that. So stay tuned for more of the Golf and Travel Show. And we are back, and it's time for a quick message from one of our favorite sponsors. Jess, you want to have the honors?
Absolutely, and with all that rain out there, that grass is really green and fluffy out at Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club and the home of the Just Frank Golf Academy, where it's a great place to play, located in Boca Raton with a par 72 championship course and a par 3 executive course, something for all skill levels. And there's also a lighted driving range with practice areas and a snack shop open till 10 p.m. It's a great place to host a charity event or a golf outing with a full-service catering facility with all banquet rooms overlooking the golf courses. It's a perfect place for weddings, bar mitzvahs, anniversary parties, and any other catered events you may need. If you're looking to get into the game of golf, there's also several teaching pros available for private or group lessons. Their friendly staff invites you to come see for yourself. So call the Pro Shop at 561-451-1600, extension 102 for more information and tee times. And you can also visit their website at bocadunes.com. That's bocadunes.com.
And we are back, and I tell you, ever since I've been fitted for those new sunglasses from Oakley, I can't take them off. I wear them at night, I wear them in the day, playing golf, driving, you name it.
Well, you're a handsome man, and that only shows off, even that you're cool, too, hand sunglasses at night.
And if anybody wants to see, they can take a look at our Facebook page, facebook.com, the Golf and Travel Show. You can see Kat fitting me for my Oakleys, and to find out a little bit more, not only about the sunglass line and why it's important to be fitted for your sunglasses, but some of the other things that they have at the beautiful stores, including the one right here at the Boca Town Center.
Very good.
What I would like to do is welcome Kat Centeno, and she is the manager of the store here at the Boca Town Center for Oakley. Kat, are you with us?
I am. How are you guys? Thank you for having me today.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's great to have you. It's great to hear your voice once again, and I'm still excited about that fitting that you did for me, because as I mentioned earlier in the show, I've never really been fitted for a pair of sunglasses before, so it was a very unique experience for me. But for the listeners, why don't we start at the very beginning, kind of just like we did when I came to visit you. Why don't you give us a brief rundown on some of the things besides sunglasses, and then we can focus on them that you have at the store. And of course, since we do talk golf and travel, if you could focus on things perhaps that might be good for golfers, men or women, or travelers, that would be perhaps the best thing to talk about. So give us a quick rundown.
All right, so a lot of people just know us for our eyewear, but we do carry various things. We do have lifestyle apparel. We carry some swim and surf apparel as well. We carry luggages, backpacks, RX glasses. We carry also a small collection of golf apparel. We actually just started carrying not so long ago, active. We just expanded, like I was telling Dan when he came in, our OCP, which is our Oakley Custom Program, where you're able to customize and actually create your own eyewear, where you express yourself through your eyewear and make it your own here in the stores.
Yeah, so that's obviously what was the craziest thing. I mean, again, usually you try on different pairs of sunglasses and you compare the sunglasses, but when you come in to the Oakley store, they're custom assembled with all different kinds of parts and different colors, and so there's a lot more to it, the customability. So why don't you explain a little bit about some of those lines, and again, let's focus on products that would be perfect for either golfers or travelers.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, with the custom program, you're actually able to choose from various styles that we have here in stores. Once you pick out your styles, we kind of break down the color frame you want, the color ear socks, and what color lens you want. Like I was telling Dan, he came in here specifically just for golf. So we have performance lenses. We have specific lenses for water, for trails, for golf, for every day. Like I told Dan, I recommended him the G30, which is a rose-based with an iridium coating that improves contrast and depth perception in the blues and the greens, which helps the player analyzes the small aspirations in the grass's grain, which is actually pretty great. We also have the polarized, which is obviously going to eliminate 99% of that glare that sometimes we get from the grass, or sometimes if it's rainy out there with a bit of water, so it helps you out with that. We also do, like I told Dan, we have two lines that have the interchangeable switch locks. Sometimes we all know here in South Florida, especially, the climate changes, the condition outside changes. So you want to have various lenses. You can actually get that here in stores. We don't just sell you an eyewear. We sell replacement lenses. We have those lenses here in stores, like I said. And the one that Dan got, which was a fast jacket, is a great model because it's easier to interchange lenses. It has a switch lock mechanism on the side where you can easily, don't even have to come in here in the stores, you can do it yourself. It takes 2 seconds. You kind of just snap in, snap out, and you can actually just change your lenses if you want to just, your lenses for golf and maybe go out for a drive. You have your 00 red, which is also going to be great for driving, or even a black iridium if it's very sunny out.
For those of you listening on the radio, which is most of you, I'm actually doing it right here, so you can't see it, but I'm demonstrating for Jess, so he can see. So it is very easy. I just took the lenses out. So
I want to know if this is going to fix your putting, though.
I don't think they guarantee that.
I think it's definitely 2 putting right now.
I know. The worst part about it is I have less excuses. I can't blame it on my sunglasses anymore. So that's the problem.
No more glare.
But when you were talking about the interchangeability, of course, like I said, I just did it, and you do some of them that you have to snap in, and they're not that difficult. But with this little lever that you have on the corner of the sunglasses, it's just so much easier to do. And I like having the golf and the driving lenses that are best for those 2 options, because let's face it, I drive to the golf course, and when I'm not playing golf, I'm usually driving somewhere. So for me, that does it all. Now you had also mentioned polarized, and I had asked you when I come to the store a little bit about that. And keep in mind too that while some people are not 100% behind the polarization for reading the greens especially, it is perfect for other travelers. I mean, fishermen and cruise line people, when you're out on the water, I know that there's no doubt that polarization is better for your sunglasses. So why don't you just tell us a little bit more about some of the science behind the polarization?
All right, so with Polarize, like I explained to you here in stores, our Polarize is a little different than other competitors, I would say, just because our Polarize is actually not filtered onto the lens like many others. Our Polarize is actually ingested into the lens where you're getting that full clarity and full high definition where you're not getting so much distortion that you would get with a lot of the Polarized technology, which is pretty nice. So when you're out driving, you think you don't need Polarize, but even driving is very important because you get a lot of distortion and then you get strain in your eye where you later on cause headaches. So I do highly recommend the Polarize. Also with Performance Eyewear, you're going to notice that we carry unobtainium. Unobtainium is basically those little grips that you see in the back of your either nose pad and your ear socks. So it's going to provide comfort for all day. Also increases grip when you're sweating. So if you're doing anything active and you're afraid of maybe it's going to fall off or it's too heavy, you're not going to get that with the unobtainium Performance Eyewear, which is pretty good. It also has that 3-point fit, which is an Oakley planeted. It secures each frame to your nose bridge, the behind the temples. So it restrains them from moving, and it actually eliminates those pressure points that sometimes we get from wearing sunglasses that become very heavy and just uncomfortable. So you're not going to get that here with the Oakleys.
Well, that's true, and like I say, I've been wearing them now on the golf course, and so Jess, if I tell you that the problem is the polarization, I can't read the greens, you know that I'm lying, and I'm just looking for some lousy excuse, right?
Because Kat has given you the ability now to see every blade of grass. I know, like Superman.
Now, how about as far as like the fashion part of this? I mean, so how many different options and different styles, and with all the different customization? I mean, what do you have, like 10,000 different choices when all said and done?
Yeah, we have just not only for performance, but just like for everyday or for active. If someone wants to do a little bit of more fashion forward and still wants that Polarize, we actually still have that available here in stores, which is pretty awesome. You don't just limit yourself with people thinking Oakley's just performance. We've actually expanded where we're very fashion forward, we're everyday use, we have our wires if someone wants to be a little bit more conservative and wants that nicer line, which is pretty nice also.
Yeah, and now the other thing is that how do you inventory all that stuff? I mean, how much inventory do you have to keep to have all these lenses and all these other different moving parts?
Yeah, that's actually the best part. That's the best part. You have to be very careful. We actually try to be as organized as possible because we have a lot of consumers coming in, and you want the experience not only to be an elite experience, but we want to make sure it's as easy as possible for the consumer. So we have everything pretty organized with names, with colors, so it's actually pretty easy to maintain once you have it set up correctly. So now, inventory is pretty easy.
How many stores do you have around the country? Are they everywhere, every major city? I mean, is this store unique or?
Oh, we actually have here in South Florida, I believe it's 7, but we do have over 100 stores. It's international. So we're expanding every day, and it's exciting to see so many store openings, and we're hoping for more. So here in South Florida, you're going to have Boca Raton. The nearest one near me is going to be Sawgrass Mall, and then Aventura Mall. And then down south, you're going to have your Lincoln Road store. You're going to have your Dayland Mall has one as well, Pembroke Mall.
Yeah, so they're pretty much everywhere now. And for anybody who's listening, on the internet who are further away or maybe not where there is a store nearby, is it possible to go to your website and also go through the line and order something?
Of course. You're also able to go to our website, Oakley.com, and customize your eyewear or maybe just pick out other styles that you like, and you can order them and get them shipped directly to you.
And, of course, if you need, like, any replacement parts or different lenses, you decide that maybe, you want another lens, you can order it that way as well, correct?
Correct. You can order it online or in stores. A lot of people think just because we sell eyewear, we're not going to sell replacement lenses or even ear socks. We have accessories for all eyewear here in stores as well.
So it makes it pretty easy. And is there a particular season? Does the new lines come out in the fall, or do you introduce at least the golf stuff around January at the PGA Merchandise Show? I mean, when does new product come out?
New product comes out every so often. We like to keep it fresh, it's hard to tell exactly when stuff comes out. Well, we try to refresh our eyewear every so often. We always, if it's not a new eyewear style, it's usually new color lenses available, which is pretty sweet.
So it's sometimes even a surprise to you, huh?
Yeah, sometimes like we usually do get a heads up. We get a magazine or some heads up through our emails, but we usually do carry new varieties and things within a couple months.
I guess it keeps it fun for you at least, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just when you think you've had the best, like something new comes out, like, I gotta get it!
Well, I think it's also, Kat, I do a lot of teaching outside in Boca, at Boca Dunes, and I think it's very important for, people who are out in the sun just to protect your eyes. And,
I agree.
And Oakley has that capabilities of the polarization, and should be wearing sunglasses, and why not?